really good news. So for the longest time, I told my husband he couldn't look at me until he got to 1 million followers because, like, who the fuck are you if you don't even have 1 million followers on Instagram?
Did someone lace your weed, or did you forget we're back with another video? Okay, so this is the worst wife ever. Worst wife ever. And we're going to try to see what's up with it. I think today's main focus is just to watch out for signs when you're dating. Because it's like, I don't know what this situation is. This lady has been roaming around a cash wife. I didn't even peep it was her until just now, until like I just opened the video. You feel me? I thought it was just like a general video. But we're going to talk about preventative signs with somebody because we don't realize things about certain people until it's too late. I'm probably just going to do this. Let me focus on relationships because it's the same thing with friends too. Like, you don't really peep certain things about people until later. But we're going to see what's popping.
Those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Jasleen. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like it. And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the most brutal
I'm already seeing a Aisha Curry thing going on here.
situations I've ever seen. A situation I take no joy in seeing, but there are many lessons to be learned here. Now, if you were wondering who this person on the screen is, this is somebody's wife, specifically the wife of Akash Singh, who's a pretty famous comedian at the moment. Now, I don't know about you, but after listening to her say that stuff, you wouldn't really assume she's married. Like, that is some wild stuff to be saying, let alone on a public platform while married to a somewhat famous person. Now, I've never really listened to Akash Singh's comedy before. I've heard the name for
Off the brim, I think we really need to notice when somebody is unhappy with us. And it's like, I get it. You really like this person. You probably at that point fell in love with this person. But you have to see when like they're kind of forcing themselves to like, I don't want to say deal with you because that's such like an ugly word to use, especially if this is somebody you're in love with. It's just like they're forcing themselves to put up with the situation, or just like they're forcing themselves to see the potential in it. I think it's very important. Like, you can be so genuine, so real about how you feel, but this relationship stuff does not work if the other person is not feeling the same way. At least to some degree. Y'all don't have to have the same level of intensity, but still have the understanding like, this is somebody I'm committed to. So it's very important to just be on the lookout when somebody's unhappy with us. You can tell. I feel like you can just tell. Look, everybody loves differently, but like if somebody's like real distant with you for a minute, or like they're consistently complaining about something. Some people just complain all the time, but that doesn't mean they're like not into you, but like consistently just finding like ways to put a wedge between both of y'all, that's a sign.
for sure, but he also happens to have a very popular podcast as well with Andrew Schulz called Flagrant. And this is where this situation all starts. A few years ago, when they brought Fresh and Fit on the podcast,
My
who I'm sure
goodness.
most of you have heard of. They're these pretty popular dating red pill influencers who also have a podcast. And on this episode, they end up talking a bit about Akash's marriage, as well as also giving a bit of their advice and dating philosophy. So let's take a look.
What I find corny is my preference is not my women. Now, I thought it was I'm not dating my women, period, which is the corniest human being outside of a criminal to me, period.
Akash only dates brown.
Yeah,
Akash has been with one girl in his life who is his wife.
That's my wife. That's an
so
Indian
this
woman that
is
was
like
important to
loyal
me.
through and through. That's dangerous.
Here's the thing. One person in the relationship, whoever cares less, has the leverage. And we want the guy to always care less.
That is
We want the man.
A broken clock can be right twice a day. I'm sorry, it does take a lot for me to agree with him sometimes. Well, I don't feel like anybody should be aiming for that. Oh, who's going to care less? Then why are you dating if that's your goal, right? But I can give him that. The person who's not, because when you care more, there's a lot more emotions and there's a lot more noise. So it's a lot harder for you to think logically because you're so emotional and there's a lot of noise. So it's harder for you to come to your senses. Now, the person who cares less, there's less emotional tie. So therefore, they do have more control because they're more willing to walk away and not put up with stuff. It's so true, but the super emotional person, they're willing to compromise a lot more. I can give him that. But that shouldn't be anybody's goal, to be honest. Like, really ask yourself, if you're dating, what am I dating for? Am I dating to care the least? No.
To always have the leverage.
Childish as fuck.
And
bro.
you guys might not like hearing
is
that.
childish.
But we truly feel.
I'm not.
that
These
you
aren't
have to-
new beliefs, bro. You're not telling me some shit none of us have ever heard. We all heard this from fraternity guys in college. I'm saying there's room in and I don't have a problem with a lot of the stuff you say. I just think there is room for growth. And you guys' refusal to acknowledge it almost kind of proves it to me, confirms it to me that you guys are not willing to grow right now. And that's fine. That's some ego shit. We're just saying there's room for growth. A very mature answer is, yeah, probably. If you say that to me, I'm sure I got room to grow. Y'all are literally saying, nah, we know how it is. We're in Miami. I bet if you go to Idaho and see only 2 bitches are getting flown out of Idaho, you'd be like, oh, the world isn't like this. We're just asking you to look and take an assessment of what you say and what you spread and be like, okay, maybe there's room for growth. And y'all aren't even willing to do that.
Okay, and this is where I like to say, just because there's 2 opposing sides, that doesn't mean they don't both have valid points. He has a valid point too, and that's something I don't really like about these 2 guys from Fresh and Fit. It's really like they talk in a certain kind of way that what I'm saying is absolutely right, and there's no other truth to what I'm saying. Like, this is the right way. And it's like, for you to own a podcast and you have that kind of energy, like, why are you not open-minded to hear another person's point of view? Why are you not open-minded to hear how another person approaches stuff? And plus, everybody's different. Like, cultures are different, genders are different, how you were raised was different. So it's just like, for you to say this is what works for everybody, and it's not even by the Bible, you lost me.
For an hour and a half.
I mean, I truly feel that
That's your opinion, bro.
yeah, that's your opinion.
See what I'm saying?
And I'm not really trying to discredit any of your work or any of that kind of stuff. I'm having a conversation with you guys, 100%. I just want you guys to believe that, like, there are women out there that you would go, man, this person I want to have a family with. I mean, I'm married. Akash is married. Mark is married, right?
Yeah.
Like, Dove is trying desperately to get married, right? So it's just like, it's possible. Now, granted, we might call you in 10 years and be like, y'all were fucking right. You know what I'm saying? But,
Oh boy. Oh boy, let's just say that they may have been right. Now, this is kind of how most of the podcast went, with Akash strongly disagreeing with most in Fresh and Fit's points and philosophy, which, to be fair, they are extreme in a lot of their red pill stuff. But with that said, not all of it is necessarily wrong. There's definitely some truths they talk about when it comes to dating. You might agree with some of it, might disagree, it is what it is. But in true influencer fashion, after that podcast, I guess they've had an ongoing beef in the past few years, throwing jabs at each other, which culminated recently on Twitter with Myron from Fresh and Fit dropping a bombshell and fully exposing Akash's wife, who recently started her own podcast. Funnily enough, like, holy fuck, this is a perfect example of why not everybody needs to have a podcast, as we're about to see. But I guess not everyone paid much attention to
Subscribe to the Bizarre podcast, though.
Akash's wife. She's not really famous or anything, but as it turns out, her entire social media presence seems to be a massive humiliation ritual towards her husband, and it is fucking brutal.
Those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Justine. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like it. And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me lots of nice things.
How do you and your husband split finances?
We don't.
We don't.
If you want to work, all for that. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his account, that's a fucking red flag. His money is our money and my money is my money. I know so many girls in my life.
Okay, she kind of no, because I was agreeing with her for a second, and then she said that. Okay, you see, this is trying to say mentality. How does it take you to get married to find out this is the mentality of your lady? That's something that's so underestimated. Like, I don't think we consider that a lot. Like, what's this person mindset? Like, when something hits the fan, how are they logically thinking? What are their thought processes? Like, what patterns do they have? I'm trying to tell you, like, the signs always be there. Maybe not in the first week, but, like, honestly, like, you can tell a lot about a person within one conversation. It's true. And even if you're not picking up, read energy. You can read energy. I don't care. I don't care if the fact that we don't see energy. We can't physically see it, but that doesn't mean we can't read it. We feel it. We feel it. We can feel when somebody not really rocking with us. Like, let's be so for real. And this whole bank account stuff, look, I'm not gonna lie, like, I can understand somebody trying to put some money aside, especially as a female and you not working, because like if y'all get divorced, like, okay, you take half of his money, but then what? Like, if you decided to be the stay-at-home mom and you're not working, you never had any income, at least the husband, after the divorce, they're still gonna have income and stuff. So I can understand like some money on the side, but it's just like, if he want money on the side too, because he could be thinking the same thing, you know. We obviously, whoever gets married, they don't want it to lead in divorce, but you just never know what might happen. But this mentality, all off brim, just hearing that, you saw how shocked I was.
Personally, that have been with guys that weren't transparent about money, and they ended up being terrible in other aspects, and like people ended up breaking up in divorces. So that is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one. That means paying for the first date and everything. I know that it's rough out there, inflation. Like, I'm not saying to just like waste it on every single girl, but if a girl is special, you should be courting her properly. So one time I met this guy on Tinder and I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, like not really wanting to fucking hook up. And I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore. Oh my God. And I remember that he like kind of.
Do you know what my fucking husband just tried to do to me?
Yeah.
We're leaving. Shut up. We're leaving in Paris in 5 hours. So
Leaving in Paris.
tensions are a little high.
Yeah.
We also just redid our closet,
This is all her closet now. She took the whole closet.
which we already agreed
And
upon.
now she's saying she doesn't have no space.
And now I'm saying I don't have space for all my. I don't have space for. Can you show?
Yeah.
I don't have space for all my Indian suits because I like my dresses spaced out. Do you know what Akash just did?
Here you go. Watch this. Oh my God.
I'm not doing
How
that.
much space exists?
I'm not doing that.
So what do you want to do? You want to buy a separate house with all hanger space?
No, we were supposed to build a wardrobe, but Akash didn't want to do
For
it because
me,
he's too
because
cheap.
I took the smaller closet.
Yo, are you
Man, the music.
Do you know how much fucking space he has? Look, utilize the shelves, you idiot.
These are for sneakers.
Yeah, I think you can quickly figure out what kind of marriage this is, you know, what their whole dynamic is like. Basically, Akash provides...
That's something, discernment is important in everything, because what she just did, like, I think I'm all for the couples who like to make jokes about each other or like just poke fun, you know, hee ha ha, because people just be goofy like that. But really pay attention to somebody's just trying to like be on some jokey joke type time, and they're trying to embarrass you. They're trying to make fun of you. They're trying to laugh at you, not with you. Pay attention to that.
everything. The dude is the sole breadwinner, rich, somewhat famous, you know, high status comedian, podcaster, and his wife basically does nothing and lives off of him. They also don't have any kids after 10 years of marriage as well. And now you can kind of start to see why this is one of the most brutal situations I've seen unfold as far as online drama is concerned, which I really don't usually talk about or care about. This whole situation is the perfect example of what happens when one person lets another walk all over them in a relationship. What a healthy relationship does.
Especially if you're the man, you have to put in order. You have to put in order. Because I even as a female, I don't know if the respect factor is going to be there if you don't put in order for behaviors like this. Because it's human nature. Even think about children. When children act up and they don't get no consequence or like nobody tells them about it, they just do it again. They just do it again because, oh, nobody said nothing, I'm just do it again. And it's the same thing here. You got to put in order. I mean, females can put in order too. Like if a dude is acting a certain type of way, be like, hey, I wasn't really rocking with that. I'm not saying only one side has to, but I think it's very important for males to do it. Very important. Because if males are supposed to be the leaders, the person guiding the relationship, you know, I mean, the head. If you're the head and you're not leading and you're not putting in order, then the woman's going to feel like she's in control. And I feel like in a relationship, isn't it the man who's supposed to lead? So that become, and like putting in order is leadership skills. It's a part of leadership skills. That's like a teacher. Teacher's supposed to lead the classroom, but they're not going to discipline any of the students that are acting up. You know what I mean? I think that's just me, though. Some people don't believe in the whole role thing, but I think there's two different people in the relationship, and they fulfill two different roles. It's important for everybody to fulfill their role. It's important.
Doesn't look like
that goes for
because
both
it
ends.
Gets worse. Remember how I mentioned how she started her own podcast? Well, let's take a look.
Okay, not gonna lie, I don't watch porn while using a vibrator. What? I just think my imagination is vibration enough. What? I'm just thinking of like my own
Please.
husband while I'm like doing it.
I don't use a vibrator because my mind is vibrating. Bro, please.
Wait, that's kind of baller, but I
Yeah.
could never do that.
Yeah. Would y'all ever have an orgy together with your husband?
Bria,
She tried.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
No, I kind of love it, but I'm like, us four? Okay, maybe.
I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
I needed to breathe, literally.
Wait, another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about that are so funny is, Akash, I know Naveen hasn't or is the scammer, but have you gotten scammed before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did
got
you
ya.
just call me a scammer?
Yeah, you are a
Yeah.
scammer.
Yeah.
No, he's like, no, I know. Scammer.
There's a difference being a scammer and being a hustler. Two very different things.
Okay.
I'm a hustler who scams a little bit. I'm not a scammer
I'm
who
not
hustles.
gonna lie, that was sexy, and that's why I'm actively trying to have an orgy.
Wait, but thank you guys for being on.
Look, like I said, I am all about the jokes. I am. Y'all know I'm a goofy girl. I'm all about the jokes, but you have to know which jokes are appropriate or not. That's not funny. Nothing about that is funny. That's like if I'm in a full-blown relationship and I'm going to do a prank. I'm going to act like I'm breaking up with him. That's not funny. What about that's funny? Oh, I'm going to do a prank. I'm going to act like I'm at this dude's house. And I get my homegirl to post up as a dude or something. Like that's not funny. To me, there's certain lines there's certain lines you don't cross with jokes. I'm talking about another man's dingling. That's not funny. But it's about putting order, and it's like one thing I'm gonna say, we both play a role on how the dynamic of the relationship goes. Both females do the same thing. They accept anything from a guy because they really like them, and males do the same thing. I think it's more common for the stories of females going through that. People don't talk about this side of masculinity or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it takes two. It really takes two. And two people determine the dynamics of the relationship. And you have to put your foot down. I'm the type of person, and I'm not unreasonable. For me to get to a point where it's either you follow this or I'm no longer staying in this, something really had to hit the fan. I'm not like that with everything. You had to really cross the line for me to even say a statement like that. Because it's to a point I'm not entertaining anything that you're saying until you can follow this. You see, I'm not like that all the time, but that's how you put order. And that's how you let the person know, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. You see, and this girl, she's been playing for way too long. She's been playing way too long. She got way too comfortable. I even had one of my ex-friends, her man used to cheat on her like there was no tomorrow. She told me it got to a point where it's honestly, you kept on coming back. So he stopped caring to not cheat. You put in order. We have to put in order.
Main character pod. We love you. We hate you.
I guess
we respect
we
you.
love you, but I actually love you and want to fuck all of you.
We want the guy to always care less.
That is
We want the guy to always have the leverage.
childish as fuck.
And you
bro.
guys,
Imagine saying all of this right in front of your spouse, literally right in front of them. That is fucking brutal.
Her friend got to be a little bit ditzy, or I don't even know how she can even support this bride. She's either ditzy along with the bride, or she knows what her friend is saying is going to bring up a lot of views. I don't know. She's going along with this way too much. That is her man at the end of the day.
And Now, I'm not some relationship dating guru, YouTuber, red pillar, but I think it goes without saying that this is what zero respect and zero desire looks like in a relationship. Nobody who actually likes you and is let alone married to you should ever be saying anything like this. And if they do, I mean, this is grounds for an immediate breakup and divorce. Like, to say all of
estrangement
this
at
on
least.
a public platform, online as well, for everyone to see, makes it even that much worse. And as bad as it sounds, I don't know if I even feel bad for somebody like Akash as well. I mean, I feel bad as...
Yes, this is trying to say, because it does get to a point, you know what, you do play a role, and I feel bad, but not that bad.
Some sense, but at the same time, you could kind of tell that he's the type of guy who will put up with all of this shit and still...
Oh, that's another thing too. Like, some guys, or I don't want to just say guys, like girls do this too. Like, they get with somebody and they have the "this is as good as it's gonna get for me" mentality, and they really do put up with anything.
Defend his wife at the end of the day. How you could feel bad for anyone who's willingly in that situation, I don't know. I personally have seen and even known a few guys in real life who've been in very similar relationships, and it almost always is a result of an extreme lack of self-respect on the guy's part. Zero self-respect, desperation, probably very little experience with women, and this is pretty much the exact case here.
So my husband actually interviewed these red pill guys on their podcast.
Just stop.
And I won't mention their names because who the fuck even cares? But it was so funny because he actually called them out on their shit.
I'm mad at my husband because he's too busy working and being a provider, and I'm over here having all these cute outfits, cute shoes, cute bags, like want to do my makeup, want to go out, and he's nowhere to be found.
Okay, you guys, I have really good news. So for the longest time, I told my husband he couldn't look at me until he got to 1 million followers because, like, who the fuck are you if you don't even have 1 million followers on Instagram?
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. So for context, I went to college from 2011 to 2016. The top 4 songs when I came back for my sophomore year: Click, Pop That, Bands Make Her Dance, Birthday Cake, the 2 Chainz, Birthday, It's Your Birthday. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses. I was shopping at Ray.
It's just like, this is what I'm be trying to say. Like, what's the need? Like, she has a podcast with her friend. She could have talked to her friend privately and just confessed all of this. Like, why take it to the net? And how? This is other YouTuber I watch, Asher Dior. Check him out. But like, he be making a point, like, how do you not have that voice in your head saying, like, you know, maybe this is not the best move. And mind you, when you record, this is probably not even lie, like, you record it, play it back, and then you have time to think. She not even live. I mean, after you said it, but it's just like, how do you not have the voice in your head? Like, yo, we gotta stop this.
I was eating buffalo chicken wraps every day. I was straightening my hair with my French tips. Like, you could not tell me nothing. And I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is... I don't even know what to say. Let this video be a lesson on what zero attraction and zero respect in a relationship looks like. What zero self-respect looks like too. Ironically, some of the most popular red pill advice out there is to get rich, make good money, achieve your goals, have some status, which isn't bad advice on its own. But when it comes to relationships and attraction, clearly these things are not the most important. You know, you have a guy like Akash Singh, a well-known, rich, famous comedian with a big influence online as well, and yet he still has zero respect and desire in his relationship. If those two...
I was talking about that with my cousin. Like, not even just him, people who has achieved great things, like celebrities, athletes, artists, whatever, they're really good at that one category, but like, some people just really lack people skills. It doesn't matter how good you are at whatever, like acting, singing, whatever the case may be, being a football player, you can still have low self-esteem, which is crazy, because I would think you would need hella confidence to even be in a field like that. But y'all can still have low self-esteem, low self-respect, lack of boundaries. The list goes on. It's crazy.
Things aren't there, genuine attraction and respect, then not even all the money and status in the world can save you. I would argue that even if you do have a lot of money and status, then you should, if anything, try your best to hide these things as much as possible. Because then if you lead with money and status, you're gonna end up in a situation like this.
I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
Now, granted, we might call you in 10 years and be like, y'all were fucking right. You know what I'm saying?
Just
But
seeing
anyways, I think
this.
that's gonna wrap up today's video.
Thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Got y'all next time.